Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things life. I am so excited to be recording this video. I was just so excited to do this one. I've just been looking forward to recording it, uploading it, and starting the whole conversation. So if you've been following my channel, thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Subscribe, like, share the videos. Let's join in. This is a very welcoming platform where our opinions are accepted and where we have so many amazing conversations. So if you've been following my videos, or if you've been following the content that I've been creating for the past few weeks, I've been talking about my journey away from social media, how I went away from social media for a while and just hibernated for a little bit, just took some space off social media, off Facebook, off Instagram, to just regroup and just reprioritize, refocus. And I've just been advocating for this thing where I'm like, you know what, the world is fast paced. Take a break, take a step back, pace yourself, rest. Hyper productivity is not sustainable. You will burn out. So I've been having conversations around that, how to hibernate, is it sustainable, how to go about it, and stuff like that. And one topic that kept on coming up in my so I have a small mentorship program. If you would like to be part of it, just if you leave a comment, it might be difficult for me to see it, but you can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram. Just slide into my DMs. I have this mentorship program that I had put on hold for a little bit when I was just going through this process. So when I came back, we had a lot of things to catch up on, to clarify and stuff like that. And one thing that I kept being asked about is the question of toxicity. So I mentioned in my previous video that something to do with toxicity, and I put a disclaimer that, you know what, this is such a big topic and I might have to do a video about it. I was right. So I say that part of the reason why you need to take a break, to take a step back, is because you need to detoxify. You need to take a step back and take care of yourself, renew your energy and stuff like that. So the question that I was asked was, had I encountered toxicity? Had I encountered some toxic people? Was my hibernating a way of avoiding toxic people and stuff like that? And it's, to be honest with you, I never honestly thought I would get to a point where I would have a video on toxicity, because I feel like it's the next catchy phrase. So everyone just feels like, oh well, this person is toxic. Toxicity. It's abused in so many spaces, so much so that I thought, you know, this is a cheesy area that I wouldn't really want to talk about. I would rather just observe from the sideways what's going on. But then, because it was talked about a lot of times, I realized, no, I'm going to do a little bit of digging. I'm going to look at this and then rationalize it, process it, and share with you what I think, and then you can share back and we can have the conversation as always. So the first thing that I observed is toxicity, or the term toxic, or the term toxic person, is now abused. How do I explain this? What do I mean? What I mean is, I feel like people call each other toxic when they are self-projecting. So usually the toxic people are the ones who call other people toxic. Well, let me explain what I meant. So what I mean is, usually we self-project. We project those aspects about our personality that we don't like. We project them to people. Research actually says that the weaknesses that we are first to notice in other people is a reflection of the weaknesses that we have. So if you are quick to pick out arrogance, you might be a little bit arrogant yourself. If you're quick to fix, that's subject to debate, and honestly, let me know what you think about. But then research said that we project, and usually people who call people toxic, it's people who are calling out people that don't agree with them. So usually when you listen to someone telling you that, oh, this person was so toxic, and you ask them, what did they do? And if you drill down to that, you realize that this person did not agree with what the other person was saying, and that person interpreted it as toxic. And that's where I'm not comfortable with, because what I believe is true tolerance is embracing everyone's opinion, whether you agree with it or not. And the fact that a person doesn't conform to your point of view, or a person doesn't conform to your system of solving things, or a person doesn't want to see things the way you see them, it does not make them toxic, it makes them different. So we should pay attention to people's differences and not just branch them out as toxic if we don't know them. People almost always crucify what they don't understand. And for us to guard against such biases, we have to actively look at, okay, what perception am I using to call this person toxic? Am I not just projecting my weaknesses? Am I not projecting my differences? So there is that danger of projecting. Yeah, that's the first thing that I noticed. And the second thing that I noticed is usually people call people toxic when they don't want to own up. So if it's in a relationship setting, is it, and one person offends the other person, and then the other person wants to talk about it, the next person will call the first person toxic for calling them out and stuff like that. And it's we are becoming emotional hemophiliacs. You know, I don't know, it's when people don't want to own up to their own inadequacies, when people don't want to change to become a better person for the people in their lives, they attack those people who are calling them out. So that's why I feel like the whole notion of toxicity gets murky, because it removes the aspect of accountability. It's always my perspective. If you don't agree with me, you are toxic. If you don't see things the way I see them, you are toxic. So for that reason, I was a little bit, okay, you know, on the fence with the term toxicity. Having said that, let me put a disclaimer. I'm not saying that toxicity doesn't exist, nor am I saying that toxic people are not out there. They are out there. But what actually does that look like? And this is what I'm going to talk about now. What I believe toxicity to be is people who treat you good and bad at the same time, that manipulate you. So there are people who you don't necessarily know where you stand with them. 1 minute they're very loving, very encouraging, and the next minute they're confusing you, they are mean, they are distant. And this sort of like this people have like remnants of narcissistic personality tendencies. And for me, so a person who keeps you in this constant state of limbo, confusion, you don't know where you stand, you don't know what to say, you're walking on eggshells. Did you do something wrong? Did you not do something wrong? Did you say something? Did you not say something? This person who keeps you in this space where you're constantly confused and you feel inadequate, that's a toxic person. So when a person disagree with you, that doesn't make them toxic. When they call you out, it doesn't make them toxic. But if they ill treat you and make you question your decisions and make you question your emotions and don't acknowledge that they've hurt you, then they are toxic. So yes, I have encountered some toxic people in my life, and usually the people that are toxic are the people that call other people toxic. But then it's not the reason why I hide the nation and stuff like that, but then because it kept on coming up and I felt that I needed to have a video about it. And then just I'm going to, you know how I do things, guys. I will start a conversation, go and do some more research, look into some more information, and when I find it, I'll come back and we can continue the conversation. So what are the key takeaways? The key takeaways from this video is people have abused the term toxic. We use it to describe anyone we don't like. We use the term toxic to describe anyone who disagrees with us. We use the term toxic to describe anyone who calls us out. We use the term toxic to disagree anyone who rejected us or who did not give in to our demands. So so much so that because of this constant abuse of the word, when it then applies, it becomes difficult and ambiguous because we've taken away the power from it. Toxicity is real, but let's not abuse the terms because ultimately they won't mean anything. So that said, toxicity is there, and if you have toxic people around you, don't try to think that you can fix them. Let them go, create some distance, create some space. What I did in this video is just to let you know the differences. Know when you're dealing with a person who is simply disagreeing with you. Know when you're dealing with a person who is simply calling you out. Know when you're dealing with a person who is genuinely toxic, because if you don't understand or pay attention to those differences, you will throw away good people in the name of them being toxic. You will lose people because you think they're toxic. So I feel like if we continue in this whole notion of, oh my god, everything is toxic, we'll end up unable to create meaningful relationships with people because we'll just dismiss everyone as toxic if we don't disagree with them. So let's gather more information. Pay attention to someone's patterns. Just because they pick a fight with you once, they're not toxic. Maybe they want what's best for you. Understand a person's behavior over time. Look at the progression of your relationship with them. How do they normally treat you? Okay, so yeah, is an encounter with toxic people a reason to hibernate? obviously. Was it my reason? Not really. But yeah, so it's just, let's just pay attention to this whole notion of toxic. What is toxic and what is not? You guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I definitely will be doing more videos on this because I think it's a very important question, it's a very important topic, and we should have more. It's a very important topic and we should have more conversations around it and try to understand it better. Thank you so much for tuning in. If it's your first time, please subscribe, share the video, like, and leave a comment. Till next time, I have to sign out now, guys. Bye.